Hello and welcome. I'm Randy Buehler, joined by Mike Sigrist here at the finals of Team Draft Super League. You got to be feeling pretty good right now, Siggy, up 3-1.
Yeah, I would feel better if I got that last one, but yeah.
It was tight. Like, I saw the Sandworm convergence as soon as we tuned in. I'm like, are they going to go 4-0? PGO has come back from down 3-1. They've come back from down 4-1. It's like, are they going to try to come back from 4-0? But no, this is defeat. Now, I got to ask you, what were you thinking when Nissa's defeat destroyed your Sandworm convergence?
I actually saw it coming because I assumed he would bring it in because it was basically my only way of beating him. And he cast Winged Shepherd the turn before that.
All right.
So I don't think he would have just hard casted into it. He would have kept it to cycle at least or something.
I'll buy that. Fair enough. It was still cool. I haven't actually seen Nissa defeat Sandworm convergence like that. It was kind of cool. But before we go to the next match of Team Draft Super League, I did want to give you guys an update on what's going on with Super Leagues. I think most of you guys know I'm the executive producer that kind of puts everything together. And man, I got to tell you, when that banned and restricted list came out yesterday for Vintage, I started drooling. I am delighted with what Wizards has done for the Vintage metagame, and we got to do it. Vintage Super League. It is time. I had been there was a Patreon that was up and running. We were thinking about, okay, what are we going to do for Season 7? With that being we are going to start Season 7 of Vintage Super League 2 weeks. We're going to take 1 week off. There'll be no show next Tuesday, but Vintage Super League is coming 2 weeks from tonight. And I got to say thank you. Cool Stuff Incorporated, CoolStuffInc.com is going to sponsor the season. That's actually what put us over the top of our funding goal. So here we go. Season 7 of Vintage Super League. And you see that Brewers Challenge. This metagame is wide open. So we're going to start 2 weeks. You see, September 12th. We're going to go with our 5 o'clock start time. That should work. This metagame is wide open. So we didn't really want to have a play-in tournament. The regulars, we all wanted to take our shot at Vintage while this metagame is just brand new and nobody knows what's going on. So there's no play-ins, there's no relegation. And what we've done with the field, we're not just auto-carrying everybody over from Season 6. We've actually just made an effort to get people who like to brew, people who try crazy decks, and also people who are really good at commentary. So not only am I announcing that we're starting in 2 weeks, I've got the field to show you too. It's going to be 12 players, and there you see exactly which 12 players it's going to be. So we're going to go back to what we used to do before. Everybody just plays 9 matches. None of the crazy group advancement stuff that we did last season. Everybody's going to play 9 matches, and with these 12 players, I mean, I think every match is going to be awesome, both for playing and for commentary. At the end of 9 matches, best records go to the playoffs, like we've usually done it. We are going to keep the system of groups where it's going to be 4 people a night sort of throwing down. And the other thing we've done with this sort of Brewers Challenge theme, we've all agreed to no repeat deck choices. So when we submit decks for each of the sort of trimesters in the season, nobody is going to submit the same archetype more than once. I don't know how much Vintage you watch, Siggy. I don't know if this is something you've ever played or dabbled in.
I dabbled watching the stream when I can. I haven't played Vintage since 1997 or something. So
you did play back in the day. I thought you might have. That's awesome.
Just here and there. I probably played 2 tournaments or something. Definitely didn't even own all the power. Just played because I had 1 Mox or something like that.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I was right there with you back in the 90s. Format is. I'm excited about this. I mean, I get excited about a lot of stuff, but this I am really looking forward to. So that's the news. That's where Super Leagues are going. 1 off week, and we're going to roll right into Vintage Super League. So that should be awesome. We got a Team Draft Super League to settle up first, though.
Oh, yeah.
All right. We are going to be watching Owen Turtenwald and Steve Rubin. Owen has the 1 win from PGO. Steve, meanwhile, has not just a Scorpion God, but then he also opened Nico Bolas. Do you have a grade for his deck? It looks amazing. I've only mostly glanced at it in the draft viewer. It looks ridiculous.
Yeah, he is kind of an aggressive deck to have Nico Bolas, so it's he could get run over and never get to cast it but because his creatures are just kind of low quality. But his deck. If his deck has a weakness, it's his creatures. But yeah, his deck is nice.
Yeah, I will buy that. I think he's only played about 45 seconds of Magic because I was keeping one eye on the match against Huey, and it did not take long. Scorpion God came down pretty quickly in both games, and I mean Huey's trying to play a grindy deck, a grindy strategy. It did not work out well for Huey.
Yeah.
All right, players are ready. Let's get down to some Magic. All right, here we go. Dem boys are up 3-1, but it takes 5 wins to claim a team draft match, and PGO has been in this position before. They've come back from worse. What do you think of these draws, Siggy?
Look, I'm pretty sure Steve's going to mulligan his.
I would assume. I figured I'd throw you a softball to start. Yeah, there's the mulligan. You can't keep 6 lands.
I think Owen's going to keep his, knowing Owen's tendencies. The Monument's one of his best cards against Steve as well. He sees Nicole Bolas in the sky.
Top or bottom?
I think Steve should bottom in this matchup, but I don't know what he did.
It's an interesting question, right? I mean,
yeah,
4-land Tormenting Voice. It's going to be a while before Nicole Bolas is relevant.
It's also just not particularly good against Owen's deck because Owen goes pretty wide, and that's not a good recipe for Nicole Bolas. Yeah, he bottomed it.
Bottom it. All right. Yeah. There's kind of setting up. Owen's deck came out really aggressively in the bits of the match against you that I saw.
Yeah, he's got a really nice low curve, and
so Ruin Rat seemed like a great draw for Steve then.
He's got Appeal to Authority, which is really tough to beat. I think Owen's deck matches up quite well against mine and quite well against Steve's. I think Hayne has our best deck against him, and so I don't know if they played yet or not, but I'm hoping Hayne can get a match off him if he hasn't already.
Hayne versus Owen will be 8th if it comes up, if we get there. All right, Javelineer kills Avenger.
Yeah, Owen's just loaded with creatures, though, and he's just going to be able to just keep pumping out creatures. And Steve's draw is pretty anemic. He doesn't have ways to punch through. He needs Scorpion God is going to be the card that he needs to draw in this matchup.
Torment of Venom, not the most exciting removal spell against a Pegasus Monument going wide.
Not quite.
Yeah, this matchup does look like it favors Owen, doesn't it?
Yeah, so Owen can just Steve's deck's a little clunky, and Owen can just get right underneath it, and he's got cards to close like Synchronized Strike and Appeal to Authority. Wow. So let's see what Owen will do here. He'll probably just attack for 2, maybe Resilient Kenra the Avon, and then keep going wide.
Is there anything Owen's worried about? I mean, he's got the lists now, obviously. He knows Steve's got those couple of bombs, but does he just dump his hand, go as wide as possible?
Should be worried about in this spot is Scorpion God, and he'll know by next turn if Steve has it because yeah, I like this play from Owen.
All right, Resilient Kenra.
If Owen draws Appeal to Authority, the game just ends on the spot.
2-drop into Monument into, what are we at? 3 creatures over the next 2 turns. There's another mummy that can come. All right. Attacks with everything except the 1/1.
Steve's going to block the Sun Scourge Champion with the Rune Rat, and Owen's going to save it with Jera's Resolve. Steve basically needs to decide if he wants to double block the Warrior token. I wouldn't if I was Steve, because the Warfire Javelineer is holding off a lot of creatures.
Yeah, looks like he agrees with you. Here is the Jera's Resolve, so the Rat is not going to win that fight.
He didn't.
Oh, he clicked on it and then changed his mind. Decided playing the Mummy and getting another 1/1 on the board.
He could have done both, so that was interesting. I guess he figures that the he's never going to be flashing back the Sunscorch champion.
Yeah, that is interesting. He's chosen to keep the Gyro's Resolve in his hand rather than win that fight. So many creatures. Steve at 12.
He probably just wants to protect his flyers from puncturing blows and any way he can get damaged.
Yeah, everything, says Owen. Get in there.
Steve doesn't really have particularly good blocks. I don't like that block. I would block the... Probably just block a warrior. I guess he figures that Owen's so far away from being able to flash it back. I suspect Steve will cast Torment on... He should have done this before combat. I mean, before blocks. He's going to probably Torment of Venom the Dauntless Abe, and then Owen can now sacrifice a block creature that's going to die anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of taking 3 damage.
Well, first he cycles, gets a little more information.
Yeah. No, he doesn't.
No. Both players are content with that combat. More creatures, says Owen. You're at 6. I'm at 7 creatures. Oh, he cycles his flyer.
Yeah, he's trying to hit land drops for the Kenra.
Sure. Does Steve have to just torment something here just to use his mana?
He may be considering holding it up so that he doesn't die to Appeal from Authority, but I think
doesn't he just die to the board?
Yeah, that's the problem. Is he's just too far behind.
Yeah, so I think he's got to spend his mana that way.
Deserve my life total a little bit, but
yeah, waiting for end step there is.
He's in his eyes. He does have a reasonable board position right now, where he can eat 2 creatures but he's going to get...
Yeah, tell me about his life total. Is his life total reasonable?
Well, he might just be dead right now.
He might.
No, he's going to go to 1. Oh, no, he's dead. He's dead to the... He's going to tap the Burning Fist Minotaur, attack with those 5 guys, and yeah, this will be lethal.
Exert triggers are going to do it. Wow, so Owen's deck does exactly what it wants to do. Just 2-drop into Oketra's Monument into 2 creatures, followed by 2 more creatures, followed by a creature with a trick up. And Owen, yeah, you guys won the first. I counted it. You actually 2-0 the first round, swept all 4 games in the first round, and won the first game of each round 2 match. So you won the first 6 games. But Owen is like, what? Do they think they run these streets? No. Owen does not like anyone else attempting to run his streets. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean that.
I would like to see Steve bring in at least 1 Blur Blades. Owen has.
Oh, sure.
I guess he only has 2 X1s. He's got Dauntless Aven and Oketra's Avenger. Marauding Berserker is not very. Why is he taking a Wildfire Eternal? That blocks so well. I guess he just wants to come out ahead and start attacking.
Is Nicol Bolas bad enough in the matchup you might consider siding it out?
I don't think so, but you could. You could. The problem is he just doesn't have much.
Okay.
His cards, like, I guess he gets to bring in his miasmic. Like, one of the things in deck building was he didn't want to play his miasmic mummies because of, or at least I didn't want him to, because of the fact that he has Nicol Bolas. Every resource is so valuable.
Sure.
But it looks like, I mean, the worst card I think he has in his deck right now is Marauding Berserker. It's going to be extremely difficult to keep online to block. So I would probably leave in the 1 for it. It gets to attack, doesn't get blocked, casts a spell for free, it kind of gains its tempo back. And it is a zombie, I believe, for the Berserk Banish, whatever they're called, the Marauding Banishers.
And the Planeswalkers is only blue card, right?
Yeah.
Nothing else to the splash. What is it? 1 island, 1 Traveler's Amulet?
Yeah, it's kind of loose-ish, but it's enough.
It is.
It's a 7 mana card.
Right, I was about to say the same thing. All right, here we go. Owen trying to bring his team back up a game.
All right.
Meanwhile, off camera, Reed Duke is playing Alexander Hayne, and they are mired in a board stall in game 1 still.
Actually haven't seen much of Hayne's deck at all. Oof. Big draw from Owen there.
Is that Monument good in this deck?
Yeah. From Steve, I probably just cycle the Scarab Feast right now. Get some information, and then I'm going to cast Tormenting Voice for sure.
Sure.
Probably just discarding Mountain, but he could discard Ceradon as well.
The even faster cycling. All right. Owen says, here's my Monument. Coming in.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to get to Dissenter's Deliverance back card game 1 on turn 3.
You started that
game 1.
Yeah, I saw you pick that fairly highly in the draft. That was not the card the commentators thought you were going to take out of that pack.
There was like a Festering Mummy and a Miasmic Mummy or something, and I was pretty sure one would wheel, and I didn't really want to have those in my deck.
Fair enough. Vizier comes with a warrior friend, of course.
So Steve's going to... I wonder what game Steve's going to try to play here. He's going to try to trade everything off.
His hand looks amazing. Like, if you ignore Owen's basic strategy, you're like 2 great removal spells, a 6/4 that he can cast or cycle, and then there's a Planeswalker. But those removal spells are not particularly good against a whole bunch of dorks going wide.
Nope, not at all. That's why, like, I wonder if Steve's just going to start attacking with this creature and keep taking damage. I would
it's the first time he's really slowed down.
Turn the Vizier. I'd hold my final reward because we know Owen has like Sunscorched Champion and Resilient Kenra, so it's much better to save that for one of those kind of cards.
All right, flies over for 3 and ships the turn. God, more cheap creatures with this Monument. 1 mana for 3/3 worth of power and toughness. So Owen's looking over 5 untapped mana. He's got the deck list. He knows about Final Reward. He knows about Torment. Does that affect his play, or is he just jamming?
No, he's just going to jam.
It seems like
he's going to end up exerting one of the creatures to tap the Rune Rat. This is going to force... Steve was just waiting because it was kind of a free roll because he didn't have a good block with the Rat anyways, except for on the Vizier. So if Owen decided not to exert the Stalwart, he'd just block the Vizier and then torment the Stalwart. But
Owen makes the obvious play, so Steve makes the obvious response. Now, how many more creatures come into play now? 4?
Yeah, 4 creatures.
Just 4.
I don't think Steve should cycle this Ceradon because he really needs a creature that can brick a bunch of creatures. Oh, that's a pretty good draw.
Wow. He agreed with you on the not cycle. Did not draw the land, but Soulstinger is probably even better.
Yeah, it has profitable blocks. It doesn't block the Stalwart, but the Stalwart's not untapping right now, and it can block everything else pretty effectively. It looks like Steve's plan might be to maybe get 2 more hits in with this Screecher. I guess the Solitary Camel's going to screw that up, so maybe 3 more hits with this creature, and then just Nicol Bolas 7 you.
All right, here's Soulstinger, 2/3 blocker.
Let's see what Steve. All right, so Steve's planning on trading off this creature.
Owen draws a land. Is this just shove?
Well,
or is it more complicated than that?
I think it's more complicated than that. I don't think I would attack with anything, maybe.
Interesting. Yeah, no, that Solstinger has actually slowed Owen down.
Yeah. It's a pretty unfortunate draw for Steve here. He's going to try to puncturing blow something, I assume, and he's going to get it countered with the Deju's Resolve. But I think Steve wants to definitely get the Bitterbolt Sharpshooter off the table.
He wants to.
Yeah, he's not going to this turn, however, but
yeah, makes sense. He attempts, but yep, Owen's last card, Jeru's Resolve.
See what Owen draws here. He may have a big attack this turn. Yeah, that'll probably do it. He's going to get the tap down Soul Stinger. Everything's coming.
Yeah, by declining the attack last turn, I think Owen. The dream is you top deck a zombie, right? Now binding
deal to authority. He also has double tap the cycle. Jeru's Renunciation, I believe it's called. Taps 2 creatures. He's just waiting for those.
And his deck delivers. Again, this is the way Owen drew it up.
Yep.
Drafted a good deck. He said when we had him on commentary, he was happy. He kind of got the cards that he wanted during the draft. Seems happy with his deck, and he's trying to make the score Dem Boys 3, Owen Turtenwald 2 is what he's trying to do.
He can have all the wins he wants as long as his teammates don't get any.
All right. Off camera, looks like you guys got it. Game 1, Alexander Hayne did eventually defeat Reed Duke in, pretty sure that was still Game 1.
Awesome. Read him. Yeah, that's the card Steve needed to cast on turn 5. I don't think he can stabilize as is.
Just 5 life to work with.
Yeah. I mean,
Owen's on 8 creatures. Yeah, confirmed that was Game 1. Hayne over Duke.
Looks like we may get to watch more of it.
Yeah, looks like.
Steve's trying to figure out if he has anything in his deck to get out of this situation, but I don't think he does.
Does he? I mean, if he stacks his deck from here, is there a sequence?
Well, he'd have to stack it, cycle into it, but I don't think so, no. I'm wondering if he could have done anything last turn.
I mean, if he knows about Jeru's Resolve, he's obviously not going to puncturing blow.
Like, if Soul Stinger traded with... I can't remember what block the camel...
Well, Soul Stinger was tapped because of the binding money.
Oh, because the binding... Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's just...
I don't know what he was supposed to do. I mean, if Owen's hand is face up, he can do a little better, but yeah, no, there's nothing. So we're done. Owen Turtenwald quickly dispatches Steve Rubin. Steve Rubin, he may have opened a Scorpion God, he may have opened a Nicol Bolas, but you go wide enough, fast enough, and you don't give the guy time to draw into those bombs or play them. He drew Scorpion God at the end. It wasn't even close to being close to good enough.
Yeah, Catcher's Monument just took over the game.
Absolutely. So 3-2. Dem Boys was up 3-0. Owen has rattled off 2 wins for his team. And we are going to go watch the rest of Reed Duke against Alexander Hayne. It is, I can see that they're paused right now on turn 1 of game number 2. There's a Slither Blade on the stack, and it is going to hang out there while we get the hand cam set up and get you guys over to the match. Set up the rest of the night for us, Siggy. How do the decks match up? Like, what are you thinking now in terms of what we should be looking for? Like, who is it that needs to sneak out a win with a terrible deck? Who is supposed to beat whom?
From what I just did a rough look over the deck list. Huey's deck looked quite bad to me. So I think
I've seen a lot of people in chat saying the same thing.
Yeah,
but I mean, Huey's won with worse. I assume. I think.
Huey, he's going to find a way to win. He usually does. So, I think, like that's the person I think needs to pick up a win or two to really like swing the deck advantage back in their favor.
Huey's already 0-2. Like Huey's only got one left. You've already gotten
it's
beat
against
up
me,
on him
so
twice.
It's me in round 9. So I think if it gets to that point.
Oh wow, you're right. The final match, if we need the 9th and final match, it is you and Huey. Interesting. So we get to see like Huey pulled out a win last week in a similar spot. He was the guy in round 9 who had to get the job done last week, and he did. Yeah. They're the only team that's gone to a 9th match, right? They've done it twice. Nobody else has won a 9th match.
Yeah, we haven't even gone to a 4th, I don't think. Maybe we did once, but I think all of ours have been over in 3 rounds or whatever. Like,
wow, it's 5-1.
We either got crushed or crushed people.
Nice work if you can get it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right, while we get set up for this last match of round 3, remind anybody who tuned in late, I did announce at the beginning of the round, Vintage Super League is about to return. Season 7 of VSL starts 2 weeks from tonight. So 1 off week, and then, man, we have got a dozen brewers who are ready to attack this wide open Vintage format. The BNR announcement yesterday, Thorn of Amethyst restricted. Monastery Mentor restricted. Those 2 decks have been dominating Vintage, tabletop, real life, Magic Online, anywhere you look. The Workshop deck and the Mentor deck have been the clear 2 Tier 1 decks. They both got hit with a restriction. Oh, by the way, Yawgmoth's Bargain unrestricted.
That's
Who knows what is going to happen with that? But a little more team draft first. Let's get down to the match. All right, Dem Boys is up 3. It's now 3-2. We will get that updated in light of Owen's recent victory. Alexander Hain up a game against Reed Duke, and they're just starting game 2 as we join them. What's your take on the Slither Blade, Siggy?
I'm liking where we're sitting right now. Reed's
enough.
going to have to cycle this countervailing winds and hopefully find a creature to go with that ambuscade. But
I only see 7 cards. Reed's obviously, is that a double mulligan? Presumably he was on the draw.
Yeah, it looks like he has 7 cards, and no, I guess it's only a single mulligan, right? He has 7 cards. It's on turn 2. He was on the play.
He was on the play. Right. He was on the play, of course. That's single mulligan, but not the most exciting of keeps, given that there are no creatures. There's a conditional counterspell, there's a card that requires a creature, and then there's land. Yeah, it just cycles countervailing winds.
If we can run off a couple of spells here, and Alex stumbles on land, he's in okay shape. But
yeah, it's true. Alex does have the
pressure is
opposite
really
problem.
on to do that, especially with this consign to Oblivion lining up against that ambuscade pretty well.
Fair. I mean, look, the age-old battle between Mana Screw and Mana Flood, you kind of want to be on the Screw side. If you draw out of it at all, you just have so many more resources to work with. And Alex, the 1-drop, the 2-drop.
Yeah, he's not making land drops, but he's playing spells every turn. So
Right. And now Reed will see that he's going to miss this land drop. Not that Reed can do anything about it. Another spell. Jeez.
Wow, and the land ensures that Hain isn't going to get greedy and cast this cartouche this turn. It's possible Reed will unsummon here. The reason you do that is because he could be delaying whatever creature he unsummons for a lot of turns. Because Hain is so tied up on his mana, that it might save him a lot more life than waiting for a slightly more opportune time.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see Hain flash in the Nimble Obstructionist here.
Reed still on lands and spells, no creatures. I mean, Alex may win this game without Reed casting a spell. He'll cast the unsummon at some point, I guess.
Yeah.
Like a cycle, an ambuscade that doesn't work.
My guess is if Hayne draws something he can't cast or a land, he'll probably cast Cartouche on like Slitherblade or Cunning Survivor or something this turn.
I think unsummon will be good against the Cartouche. That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 7 power. Reed's at 12. Even through the unsummon, this may be. It's not quite a 2-turn clock through the unsummon.
So it's 6 damage here. Yeah, I guess.
Maybe it is a 2-turn clock through the unsummon. I mean, it depends where Cartouche gets pointed.
Yeah, it depends what exactly.
Oh, he declines.
Yeah, he may be just figuring I'm just going to hold up this Consign to Oblivion. If Reed plays a 5 or a 6 mana spell, I'll cast it when he's tapped down.
And now Reed has to unsummon. Can't take the damage.
Yeah.
8. Alex can do 7. No, he can do 8 next turn with the Cartouche, right?
Can do 4, 5, 6. 6, it looks like. He can do 7 if he cycles the desert as well. I would have played the desert if I was Alex.
A creature! We got there.
We'll see Alex cast the Nimble Obstructionist, untap, consign the Tenacious Hunter, and that'll be lethal. Because of the prowess from Spellweaver Eternal.
Is there something Reed can have for a blue and a green? I don't remember how many unsummons Reed has.
Yeah, it depends on that. I actually didn't look at Reed's deck because I played him round 1, so I don't know like what interaction he has for that. I don't remember any. I remember being surprised actually he had unsummon one of the games because I hadn't seen it and we played a really long game 1. I think it was game 2 he had it and I was like, oh.
Yeah. Here's Consign. There's the prowess trigger. That is 3, 4, 7, 8. Yeah. Reed has 8 life, so dem boys taking this match 3-0. Owen Turtenwald is the only member of the Peach Garden Oath to win a game so far. Owen has 4 game wins. Reed and Huey have 0 between them. They're each 0-2, and you guys are 1 match away from winning the entire Team Draft Super League.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
It's a nice smile. I'm not going to make you gush too much on camera, but certainly a good spot. Although to be fair, PGO came back from down 3-1 against the Scottsdale Foundation. They came back from down 4-1 last week in the semifinals, avenging their 1 loss to Team Madison. Next up, it's going to be Reed Duke and Steve Rubin. We'll find out if Scorpion God and Steve Rubin can finish it off, or whether this is where the PGO comeback begins.
Yeah, I'm certainly not counting my peaches yet.
I like it. All right, guys. We will be right back. Stay tuned.